Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I am back on once again with Wildcat Hawkins. He has an absolutely stunning new record out. It is called Antithesis, and I'm super excited to talk to him all about it. How are you doing today? What's going on?
Oh, I'm doing so well, Austin. It's
You
nice to
should
be
be.
here. Nice to be here with you guys. This record
Always a
is one I'm
pleasure.
excited to share, is all I can say about it.
Yes, and it seemingly came out of nowhere, which is just like the rest of your music. You check your Spotify page one day, nothing's there. You come back, you got 10 new records. It seems as though it just comes from thin air, and that's such a beautiful thing because you know that there's always something coming.
That's how I've always been, and I think that when I tried to introduce myself to people within a normal music scene sort of context, it was almost like it wasn't that easy for the dots to connect necessarily.
Sure.
When I tell my story and I share my music the way I've always made it, which is just whoa, here's some ideas. It's a Saturday. I'm not hanging out. I don't date women that are wrong for me. I'm at home being a nerd. Whoa, here's 10 songs. That's what it's always been.
Right. I mean, yeah, women can take up your time and your energy. That is 100% fact. But even if you're with someone, it's just like you're pumping out these tunes at such a high quality level. It's mesmerizing and it's inspirational.
Yeah, that's the thing with all the lore surrounding me. It's not just about how I use my energy. That's not everything, but of course I reference it here in this album. Uh, and yeah, it's a correlation more so, but yeah, I love music and I love the people, and
Totally.
that's where I'm at.
So I kind of want to tee you up to talk about this thing. It is, first off, it's called Antithesis. It's 8 songs. It's right around 45 minutes ish. And it definitely, okay, in a way, I think that it is similar to past records in that it's, stripped down and acoustic and, your vocals. But your vocals on this one, they sound a lot more refined and like emotive compared to others. There's also like a folkiness going on in it that, again, glimmers of it in past records, but not necessarily so much in the forefront. So it feels like a genre switch and kind of like new ground paved.
I feel the same, Austin. I think that there's an aspect of me as an artist that is a folk type of artist that is a story that must be told.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I
sometimes
fully
it's
agree.
lost. It can be lost sometimes in the other aesthetics and the other sounds that we as artists, you guys know I'm interested in things like, I don't know, just whatever, any type of electronica like Laugh or whatever. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like folk. It's like that's a part of me that's I think it's a part of my soul, I'd say.
I fully agree with that, and your soul comes out on this record fully. I mean, listen, from start to finish, you're immediately grasped. I even feel as though like the intro song kind of like propels the listener into what they're about to experience, and it gives them that album experience. This one flows really cohesively from start to finish, not only lyrically but just like sonically too. It sounds good. It's similar from song to song, but there's enough variation in the sounds. Like you really nailed this one on all cylinders, truly.
I appreciate that, Austin. I was hoping you'd like this one. I thought you
Oh
would.
yeah,
This is the guitar I use. See this? This is a guitar
beautiful.
my brother has had for 20 years, and he went up to Canada with
Nice.
my dad and did some fishing, and I borrowed this Tacoma, and I went with that for this.
Awesome. Awesome. So the entire thing was recorded on that. That's correct.
It was so the sound is consistent in that way.
Very cool. Well, I want to hear a little bit more about the recording process here because, as you told me, it's slightly different from the other ones in terms of improvisation. So let's kind of hear the backstory on that.
Yeah, this one stands out from other albums I've made because this truly is the antithesis of what a studio album is meant to be, I'd say.
Nice.
I come in here and when the inspiration really hits me, I find that there's some type of magic brewing inside is what it feels like to me. And I'm in this flow state just about I hit record and I go. In the case of Grifton shit show. It was a first take thing. I hit record and I nailed it. I liked what I had. The process took about 5 minutes total there, or around about. I was feeling that I was in just the right spot, almost like I had a big magnet on top of me or something, and I just knew it was gonna come out right. And as far as I can say, it did come out right. So there was that vibe surrounding this whole project.
Absolutely. So yeah, let's hear a little backstory on some of these songs. I mean, obviously the opener, which is the title track Antithesis, like I said, does a fantastic job. But then you even follow it up with a 7 minute thriller of Carnival Operator, which again kind of like throws you into the deep end. What are some songs on this record that, I guess stand out to you?
Carnival Operator stands out because I would say that's the deep end. That's the vibe I get with that song. I'm in a complete trance. I didn't write the song. I just hit record and it came out of me.
Nice.
And the way that what I'll say about that song is it captures my feeling of being outside of culture. And there are certain people, I always think about this, how some of these people in these traveling cultures, where are they supposed to line up and be considered cool? Everyone else is already saying they're no good in the first place. And I was a Mormon youth,
Yeah,
so we didn't have half a chance to have half a claim of being halfway cool because I was a weird Boy
true.
Scout with a patch on, is the thing.
Sure. I mean, hey man, life changes, obviously.
That's the thing about being outside of the mainstream, is it really alters your perception of things. And
Right.
that's what's been my life story, so much so. And I look at how people look down on your trash, might not be trash to somebody else at all. So I think
Exactly.
that's important to consider.
I mean, I think you could take that and kind of transfer it to life. It's a way that people see things and how they function. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be like attitudes or personalities or just like people that you speak to. Some people may not resonate, whereas others, instantly gravitate towards them.
That's what I wanted with this album. I wanted it to feel like I was doing what I wanted and I wasn't checking to see which way the wind was blowing.
I understand that, but I also think, at least from my perspective, this one feels very like mass accessible. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, folk is making a huge resurgence right now with so many mainstream artists. It's kind of having like a 2010 moment, 15 years ago. And we fast forward now, and folk has become such a staple in today's music. This feels just like the rest of your music, so genuine. Um, Whereas like a lot of that other stuff kind of feels like, mass produced and just available for everyone. This has a similar feeling to it, but it's coming right from the heart, which I think is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. This music captures who I am, I'd say. People have always told me that it was the aspects of my guitar playing that differ from what's normal that they like.
Yeah.
So on a track like Switchblade Mech Wings, that's what it is. I'm playing how you're not supposed to play in a way that's somewhat esoteric. And then it's like, whoa, you just pulled me through a wormhole.
Yeah.
And that's
And
that's the idea, is to play it in a different way.
right. Well, was that always the plan? Or did you go in with, preconceived notions on how to make this one?
In the case of that track, I knew I wanted it to have some picking to it and to be somewhat of an intricate pattern. But then I got into this, I felt that I was sucked into a power where it was like, whoa, let's push it right straight through.
Sure.
5 pointer there and just push it right straight through. Damn, that's something. And that was, I didn't even try and tell it what to do. And that was just a spiritual song for me. So every song on this album was that way very much. For
Right.
instance, when you look at this here, this was the hot chocolate, the Swiss Miss hot chocolate here. You can
Yeah.
see it. See? This is the type of hot chocolate that is sold around where I live, a lot of it. And there's a they make pudding in Menominee, Wisconsin, in their plant.
Sure. Oh, really?
So
I didn't
yeah,
know that.
that was the inspiration for it. I was just in the kitchen So you guys know I'm a basement dwelling, like a 40-year-old virgin, sort of. I'm not a virgin, but like
Stop.
sort of, like sort of. But like I saw this right here. It said there was 33% more cocoa in this packet. And
Okay.
I said, Swiss Miss, that makes me think about Anna. And I just wanted to go record a song, so I did. And I just hit it right off the top of my head on the first shot. And that was just kind of all it was. It was just a right off the bat, it came out of my subconscious, I'm thinking.
That makes sense. And so, Swiss Miss is the closer on the record. Was there a reason for that? Do you think it's the most powerful song out of the bunch?
I think that it is because when I was recording it, I felt something I'd never quite felt, which was almost like the time was like taffy or something like this. And you guys know that I have a penchant for attempting to enter these flow states when I'm on the keyboard or what
Yeah.
have you. And I just felt that I was in something deeper than I've ever been in my life while I was recording this song, Swiss Miss. It is an 8 minute long song that's
Right.
completely freestyled, and all lyrics make sense. I would say that they're not bad lyrics. I think that they're good lyrics, in my opinion.
Sure.
And I think, and I just, the thing about this is that, you know, obviously there's stuff that goes on in my life. There's certain emo drama in my life, like, and this, that gets to this album. I think that having issues with depression makes me outside of things also. And, I feel like a loser before I even got started, kind of. And that's the thing. I try and approach these situations, but it's like, oh,
Yeah.
well, what am I really selling here? I've got some music. I'm trying to be a hot guy if I could possibly, kind of like Marky Mark or something, but and then we sell
Sure.
some things. I mean, we sell some things, but we have to take a look at this and say, what can I do here? I've got a girl here, obvious. I told you before that I knew who she was, and people that are of the bird brain variety, like myself, obviously I'm one of them, that are very spiritual, and they can see things, and they say, Wildcat, there's a girl here, obvious. There's a girl here, and we think that you know you need to take that into account and everything. And what I'm saying is that all I'm saying is this: you never heard this side of the story. Is that Ani actually did make contact with me when I was at that factory, sitting there pushing parts on the night shift, working on
Awesome.
Goliath Laughed, and because there was a triangle right there on the machine, one of our little symbols on one of the buttons, and that
Sure.
it was in that downward orientation where the point was pointed down. I said, "Oh my God, Ani, is that you?" And I didn't hear anything, but I felt what there was to feel. And all I'm going to say is I leaned into it, you guys. I never told you this story. The only person that knows about this is my brother Scott. No one else. And Anna knows how I feel about her, but you can't just hitch up to a dude with broken wheels like me that quick, obvious. So
Sure.
all I'm saying is like I have unfinished business with this woman. Her value is every bit as high as the other one. And people don't know that now, but trust me, they will. That's all I can say about it. Like when I make this song, it means the world to me. It means everything to me. I don't know if I'll be able to be with the girl or not. Whether it be cards or just emo drama. But what I know is that she's a wonderful woman, and she's beautiful in every way to me.
That's
And
awesome.
the song is trying to tell that story and share that.
Nice. And I think it does a good job of communicating it, but I think at the same time it does a good job of not being so in your face. Like you do kind of need to like unscramble the message a little bit.
It's an esoteric type of song. That's exactly what it is.
Mhm.
She's like, it was a song that she could understand every lyric to it, is the thing, because it's about her and just how I feel about her. So she is a grimy, down home type of girl with some really killer vibes, kind of like Taylor Swift and very punky, kind of like Phoebe Bridgers, but just
Sure.
she is just overflowing with magic. And like, you guys know who I am, so I would never say something like that lightly. Never. So
Absolutely.
you can see it. The people will be able to see it, Austin.
Nice. Are there any other songs on this record that you feel I mean, I know all of them are your babies because they all made the record, but I guess any that just stick out to you in particular, at least lyrically?
Invisible Gems is a song that I had written before, and the first song called Antithesis, those are songs I've played live before, and crowds liked them. So I said,
Nice.
so for Invisible Gems, when I'm saying, you're in my way, you're in my way, this is a populist sort of flair to it. So it's like a folk populist kind of thing. And we're just sort of turning to all of the people around us that are trying to just trying to exert the wrong type of influence against us, and we're just kind of like, it's kind of like immature, kind of almost like punk, like Green Day, sort of just like I've had it kind of deal.
Sure.
It's an attitude thing, kind of like Pink
Right.
almost. It's like Pink almost, I'd say, like an attitude type of dealio
Okay.
with it, and it's more of a, that's what that's about. It's just oh yeah, it qualifies as being an anthem. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've had an anthem song before that per se.
No, I mean, listen, anthem songs are important, and I actually think anthem songs pair really well with the folk genre, specifically because like there's like, it's easy to sing along with, it's easy to get the tone, um, and overall it just kind of gels well.
I have to move toward catchy songs to help me with my sales. The thing in my life is just to start thinking about sales and not thinking about my artistic statement. What I do to take my value and sell it will be to create hot fire for the masses. That's my idea of selling it.
I hear what you're saying, but I think that there's a healthy mix. Like obviously, when it comes to syncing and it comes to just, creating ultra catchy songs, I know that there's more mass appeal. However, I think at the same time, it'll do you good to keep your artistic integrity and attempt to do both.
I'm glad that you think that way, Austin. There are certain people out there who only like listening to albums by Kings of Leon before they were a famous band because their sound did
Sure.
change.
Yeah,
And there are certain people out there that the album Gish by Smashing Pumpkins has its own fan base.
sure.
It's an early album with a different type of sound.
True.
So there, with me, I'm definitely inviting that type of situation into my life, which I've
Right.
I've just accepted it up until now. What I'd like to think is that at this stage in my life, I am sort of sitting at a juncture, kind of like Moby was before anybody heard of his album Play.
Sure.
Um, because Moby was just a guy that had different types of music, could go in different directions, and he was just, people enjoyed it, but he wasn't focused as much on being making his sales as working on his art at the time.
No, it's very true. I definitely like I didn't think about that, but I equate you to that. I think there's going to be one record for you that obviously jumps out to the people, and then they're going to explore your music and say, "Oh my God, this guy's got 20 something albums that are just sitting behind it." And then you get people that go back and resonate with specific ones.
The reason why I'm not putting my energy into touring or even just deeper bodybuilding project or anything else I could perhaps do is because I want people to have something to sink their teeth into when they first hear my name for the first time. They don't have to lose
Right.
interest. I think that if they like my flavor, they truly do, it wouldn't be hard to imagine that they could stay interested for up to 2 years without me releasing anything else with what I have now.
It's true, but also with your release schedule, it's like you could go every other one. You know what I mean? It's like this one's a personal project, this one's for everyone. Personal project, everyone. So I guess again, it depends. Um, in that similar vein, though, I have a couple more questions I want to ask, but you've definitely made a little bit of a transition to this folk sound on Antithesis. So is there a plan for what's next? Like, do you plan to continue that sound or try something completely new and different?
What I'm leaning toward is keeping this type of sound. So I want to be thought of as an acoustic act for my live act,
Yeah.
but I will bring an electric keyboard, and at most gigs
Ooh,
anyway,
okay.
I'll probably play songs that people just want to hear, like Silent Partner and Point of Light. I'll
Sure.
play those songs at my gigs on a keyboard.
Yeah.
So I will get on a piano a little bit, but it's mostly an acoustic type of thing, really,
Yeah.
when I play, and that's folky, you might say, but with me, there's always a lot of things going on kind of like a rockin' type of rhythm at times. So it's not purely,
Totally. I
but
also
it's
think,
acoustic.
yeah, I also think that playing songs live can completely transform the song. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not like when I go to see concerts, I'm never mad at seeing the song played the same, but sometimes it's nice to hear a different interpretation on something that you know so thoroughly.
I feel completely the same way, Austin, and I love the fact that you're championing that idea. It's interesting how sometimes there are factions for what people want in the
Right.
marketplace. Kind of like how Billy Corgan was saying, "Hey, why would anyone say it's wrong for Taylor Swift to release more music when her music is good quality?"
Yeah, again, people love, to talk crap. It's all we have on the internet. And so when you have a voice of reason come out and kind of stop that, it's like, oh, well, maybe I'll think twice. Like, what do these people know about anything? They don't.
I feel the exact same way as Taylor does. I feel the exact same way as Billy does, and the only other people that I can think of are Radiohead that are just like, well, we do have some B-sides. Let's actually release them and give them to the fans. Thank you very
Oh
much.
yeah, they treat their fans very nicely, that's for sure. Um, Listen, I've got one more question to ask you about this record, and it's basically a free for all for you. Is there anything important you think people should know before they listen? Especially because this one is a little bit different than the others.
Yeah, what I'd like them to know is this. I'd like them to know that I make this music as a populist kind of artistic statement. So I'm trying to appeal to this pirate level of consciousness here, I would call this. That might sound like gobbledygook or jargon, and that's fine if people are thinking that, but I want to say it for those who might get it. You see, I did go out and see this MJ the musical,
Oh, how was it?
and I liked it. I would give that a good rating, I'd say.
Nice.
And what I think is that I used to believe that the gypsy layer of consciousness was the bottom, but I think if you pull the floorboards up, their way bottom is like a pirate, just about, is what I think. And I think that when you're way down there, that you see things differently. That you notice when times are tough, and you just
Totally.
what you do is you hang on to what you've got when you're down there, and that's looking toward the light. I'd say, when you see that Jolly Roger
100%.
on the horizon, right? See that Jolly Roger on the horizon, you say that's Wildcat's ship. You hop on board this ship, you swear an oath is the thing. And you
It's
face the
true.
light. You face the
No,
light. You
that's a
put
good
on your
point.
pat. You put on your patch. You face the light, and you hold faster than a cheetah. That's the thing, because I love you guys too much for any other way. And I think that it gets way dark and way grimy down here in the depths. And for those of the people who think I'm trying to sell Michael Jackson to the world, I don't have an agenda. Me and Michael are not in cahoots. If there's a connection between him, if there's a connection between us that's spiritual, maybe there's something. Perhaps people think it, but it's not like there's no Wildcat seance guarantee. He doesn't come
Yeah,
into my body when I'm performing like these people might be thinking. Uh, that's the thing. I don't think he ever should have had any voiceover at Neverland or anything like this. But the truth is, there was something to what he was doing, and that I'm doing something similar in some type of way. And I'm not a perfect saint either, you guys.
totally.
So that's kind of all I can say about that. And I love everyone out there in the crowd. You guys mean the world to me. Good times are coming, and I've got plans in the works. And I just want to assure you of that, and say thank you for all your love and support.
Awesome, man. Well, with that being said, let me plug this record before we wrap up here. For everyone who missed it, it's called Antithesis. And as always, we'll have the links in our article and everywhere else so you can listen and share and follow along and stay tuned for more. There's always more. And again, this is Wildcat Hawkins. I want to thank you so much for taking the time. It's always an honor to talk and kind of like explore your brain and get behind this record.
Oh, it was a good time, Austin. Love you, bro. And we'll be around. We'll be in touch. Talk to you soon.
All right. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, Sam.
See ya. Bye bye.
Yes.